You're listening to Tavern Sports Radio Network.
Show me the money! Show me the money!
Welcome to the 43rd episode of Show Me the Money, brought to you by Tavern Sports. Looking at our standings in our Lock of the Weeks, it looks like I am sitting at 4-1. Next is Tyler at 3-2. Josh sitting at 3-2-1. And then we have Parker 1-1, Cole 1-3, and then John 1-0 currently.
John, congrats on hitting your first one, Bubba.
Hell yeah, start out hot, you know?
Tyler, way to not let us go perfect on the last episode.
What I do, baby. Got to be a problem.
Winners fucking win.
Gonna be a little bit different episode, guys. July is essentially the new year for sports betting. All the championships are settled up right now. We're heading into a new beginning. So like we've been doing, covering all of the futures for college football, but real quick with what is going on right now in MLB news. Last show, we talked about the Yankees and how they really weren't sitting on that large of a lead for the series. And the price I wanted to say was around minus 160, if my memory serves right. Either way, they have now, between that time and now, lost 17 of their last 23 games and are up to plus 250 to win their division. The Orioles, who have always been right there with them, are plus 300 to win the division now. So pretty big line movement after a rather large skid for the Yankees. However, still pre-All-Star break that will take place next week. So a lot of time for the Yankees to right the ship again. But it is interesting that if you were somebody who jumped on the Yankees last week, you're getting them at a better price now if you did fall in love with them. On the Orioles side, I hope you grabbed them last week when they were priced a little bit higher. Still plus 300, though, with plenty of time to work for them as well. So good numbers in that division anyway. Not a whole lot coming out of the MLB right now. Moving on to the PGA for this week, we are at the Genesis Scottish Open. Rory is our returning champ from last year, and he's actually playing this week. We have not seen Rory since the disastrous putts that took place at the last major. So going to be interesting to see how he comes back in here. The field's been a little light the past couple of weeks, but some of the bigger names are showing up for the Scottish Open. We got Xander, we got Victor Hovland, Rory, of course, coming back to defend the title, Ludwig Oberg and Morikawa, all the big names coming in. But a lot of the guys that have been playing well on some of these easier courses, easier as if I still wouldn't shoot a 160 on them. Easier courses, we've seen 2 weeks in a row the winning score be over 20 under. So going to be a little bit different this week. The Scottish Open can be a little bit of a beast. The weather can play a big impact. Our current betting favorite on my book anyway is Rory at plus 750 to go back to back. I personally don't think I can follow Rory here. I don't know if he's going to be in shambles. Is he going to be locked in? Is the wife here? Is the wife gone? What's going on with Rory, guys? Anybody tailing him here this week?
I don't know, man. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I told you all that I was fading fucking Tom Kim or whatever his name is, and he didn't make the cut. I don't have the miss the cut vibes from Rory. I feel like Rory's a top 10 guy this week. Not a winner, top 10.
I would agree with that.
So top 10 for Rory, Josh, is minus 135 right now. Top 20 minus 270. For Rory to make the cut is minus 750. So no value to make the cut. For whatever reason, I'm not seeing a to miss the cut option on Rory. I'm sure the value would be great there if you were wanting a little bit of a sprinkle. Other noticeable guys up at the top here, Xander plus 850. He's been playing really, really well this year.
No Scotty.
No Scotty in this field, but the new baby and 6 wins before the month of July. I think he's deserved taking a few weeks off to be a father. Obert plus 1,400, Morikawa plus 1,600, Hovland, who hasn't been in the best shape this year, at 2,200. Noticeable guys that have been playing real well the last couple of weeks, Aaron Rye at plus 4,000, Davis Thompson, winner of the John Deere Classic last week, plus 5,500. That was his first win. Right now with Scotty out of the field, anybody is liable to win this thing. I don't have the exacts on who plays better here or whatnot. Guys I would absolutely fade, though, and not worth the money is Justin Thomas at plus 3,500 right now, having really an abysmal season. Same kind of goes for Jordan Spieth at plus 5,000. I won't take money on him in any way, but that's a personal vendetta. I bet against him on Thursday, or I bet on him Thursday at the JDC. He fails me. I bet against him on Saturday. He fucking goes and shoots like 8 under. So can't really figure Spieth out right now. But does anybody have anybody they like this week?
I do, but I'm actually saving it for my lock of the week, so I'll bring it up later.
Okay. All right. That'll be a tasty little one.
I'm always gonna like Oberg. We're back in the UK. We're back closer to his normal time zone. So a little closer to home for Ludwig. He might have some family around, who knows. So I think he might put on a show. Last time we saw him, he looked pretty rough. So hopefully he hasn't figured out. He's had about 3 weeks off. So
yeah, I think it's interesting with these some of these events. Certain books will give you top in region. So it gives you like the top Japanese players, top English players, etc., so on and so forth. You can kind of make some tasty parlays in that. So Rory's minus 190 to be the top Irish player. The next highest is Tom McKibben at plus 360. But if you would take him as your top Irish and then take Hideki as your top Japanese player, and you can just throw one more in there for the sake of the argument right now as the top South Korean player, I'll put in Tom Kim. You can cook up a little 3-way parlay doing this and get really good odds if you feel like you have a good grasp on some of these guys in their region. I won't take the USA. It's Xander, Morikawa, JT. Like, you never know with those guys. It's going to be a bloodbath. So a little bit of PGA going on. John, do you have any picks here for?
Yeah, so I've been riding the top 10s and top 20s lately. Thigala's a guy I like to bet. I have him top 20 at plus 185. Siwoo Kim, top 20, plus 210. I think, like you said, as far as Rory goes, I think we're kind of priced out. I don't think there's any value there. But
out of curiosity, I don't think we've ever set this precedent. Are we allowed to use Green Book odds for lock of the week?
Yeah,
if
you can find it in a book and it fits the price and send it into the group chat for us to approve, then yeah.
Cool. I know
I'll accept it on fucking offshore books if you can find it. But actually, to your
boost
point,
should be excluded.
Yeah,
To
no
your
boost.
because that's
boost.
region boosts are
Yeah.
region based. You guys have boosts that I don't, and I've got boosts that you don't.
To your point, Aaron Rye been playing really well. He's plus 140 to go top 20, and that's including ties. He's been shooting the lights out again, much harder course this week, but definitely some good value in that top 20 field with some guys who have been playing and keeping the rust off per se. I don't think these guys get rusty, but yeah, just somebody who's been in the swing of it, and I don't think is fatiguing anytime soon from it. Aaron Rye at plus 140, two glove Aaron Rye, a little bit of a fucking weirdo in that sense. Quickly before we get into the NCAA football talk, John, let's run through this weekend's UFC fight night.
Yeah, so not a great fight night as it usually goes after you have a nice pay-per-view. But I did have a couple fights circled. Tyler, I don't know if you had anything for this one. A couple of the ones I'm looking at. First one, Julian Erosa versus Christian Rodriguez. So Christian Rodriguez historically misses weight at 135. He missed weight in back-to-back fights at 135, moved him up to 145, and he missed weight again. He's got a tough matchup this week against Julian Erosa. He's actually the favorite, which is hard for me to believe. Erosa's got a 6-inch height advantage, 3-inch reach advantage. I like Erosa money line for the value at plus 176.
I've got that a little bit nicer at plus 180, but yeah, the weight issue on and off the scale, if you miss weight, you're not getting your full purse, are you really going out there with like the full motivation? Definitely a mental battle anyway. If you do try to cut all that weight and just know you can't get it off, and fatiguing yourself and then catching that fine is certainly interesting. So I think at plus 180, there is good value there with the bigger fighter, with the reach advantage.
And let it be known, Dana White hates Christian Rodriguez. He's going to do anything he can to get this guy off the roster. The guy is just a liability to these events.
And it's worth noting, I have him at minus 235.
That's crazy. So, yeah, I don't see it. I don't know what the books are seeing with this one. I like Erosa as the underdog.
Where else are you taking us here on this card, John?
All right, the next one, Drew Dober versus Gene Silva. This has fight of the night written all over it. Drew Dober's a guy where if you don't knock Drew Dober out, he's going to knock you out. Gene Silva actually just fought 2 weeks ago at UFC 303. He knocked out Charles Jourdain. I believe he took that fight on short notice. Got a great finish. Charles Jourdain does suck. Every time I watch him, he gets his chin rocked. But no, this fight's going to be fireworks. I don't have this is a pick'em. I have this at each fighter minus 113. But I like this one prop to end by KO TKO. I have that at minus 185.
Yeah. There is no value in taking it. Just will the fight go the distance? No. That's down to down to minus 320. So no value in that one. It is worth noting, Dober 27-13-0 with 1 no contest. Gene Silva 13-2. Also, Dober is 8 years older. Does that concern you at all?
It doesn't. I mean, the guy's got good cardio. He's in great shape. He had the tough loss against Money Moicano there, who's proven to be an up and coming prospect. But no, I like Drew Dober in this fight, but I think the safe bet is to end by knockout.
Yeah, I definitely think if you're picking a side here, Dober's the way to go. I mean, sure, Silva fought a couple weeks ago, but like, how much can you really recover from the 29th to the 13th? I mean,
right. I mean, he didn't take a ton of damage. It's just, I think he's just a guy that likes to step in on short notice.
Yeah, but still, 6 minutes of the fight, he did win by KO in round 2 on UFC 303. But again, like, how much recovery are you really getting? I know you're young and hungry for it, but I think Drew Dober is a safe pick here if you want to go against the guy on short rest or against a guy who's coming in off of full fight camp, focused, and really geared up instead of having to hit his peak, make weight, and then come back and do that again 2 weeks later. It's tough on the body. Clark, you can attest to this, making weight for wrestling as well. Like, doing that weight cut over and over, especially some of these UFC guys, they make weight and then they balloon up like 15, 20 pounds.
It's crazy.
And then you get a knockout win on UFC 303, that after party weight. I don't know. I feel like the legs might not be there for Gene Silva. So I definitely enjoy the to not go the distance here or the TKO KO. Never know what his chin's going to be like with the fatigue as well. So I like that pick a lot, John.
All right. Do you have anything for the Santiago Ponzinibbio Muslim Salikov fight? I have nothing. Both those guys are 100 years old and well past their prime, and loser leaves the UFC, in my opinion.
No, the fact that Ponzinibbio, sorry, yeah, some of these foreign names I'll do my best on, but anyway, being a minus 215 favorite is just outlandish in this fight. I don't know. I have no words. I'm not going to put any cash on it. And then for the main event, the Rose Nama Nunez fight. Holy shit, am I stroking? I'm going to take
Rose Namajunas.
Yeah, I'm going to take Rose on the money line in a parlay. Not a whole lot of value. So,
yeah, no. So Rose Namajunas, it's worth noting. So she was originally supposed to fight Macy Barber. I think Tracy Cortez filled in like 2.5-3 weeks ago. So she's taking this fight on short notice. Rose, I think her last 4 fights went to decision. That's typically the safe bet with her. Rose Namajunas by decision, I have it plus 115. I think that's great value. I just don't see Rose is kind of on her way out, but I don't think Tracy Cortez can match her striking. So,
yeah, to your point, if you want to bring this down from 235 on the money line is what I have it. Getting Rose by KO, TKO, or points is minus 165. In case she does come out and want to light it up a little bit. But I really wish this was Macy Barber in this spot. It would have been a much better fight. Would have been worth staying up a little bit later to watch this fight. But I definitely think Rose to win by points, or if you don't even want to pick a winner just for this fight to go the distance at minus 240,
yeah, I think
pretty much tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, I think the over-under is at like 4.5 rounds. So no one's expecting this thing to go the distance or to end by finish.
Yeah, I see minus 280 to go over 4.5 rounds.
Yeah, right.
So, there's just no sense in taking that. But getting Rose by points at plus money is good value in this one here, especially if you do like to juice that up with a parlay piece.
Right.
Could be pretty interesting there.
Yeah, so those 3 picks we gave, the Julian Erosa money line, Drew Dober versus Gene Silva to end by KO, TKO, and Rose by decision is plus 847 if you want to throw that in a 3-legger.
Yeah, that's super good value on that one. Love that little parlay. But all right, guys, let's get into our bread and butter and let's dive into our last week of NCAA preseason betting here.
Yeah, before you do that, while you guys were talking that, I was looking over the 3 balls because we didn't really talk any, and that's something we typically do on PGA weeks. Ludwig, Colin Morikawa, and Hideki Matsuyama, kind of a murderer's row. I get that. I'm gonna ride my guy Ludwig, plus 150 on that one, and then Tom Kim, Max Homa, and Matthew Pavone. Pavone, correct me if I'm wrong. He's the guy that pushed Bryson at the Masters, right? Or at that major, right?
Pavone played well there.
Yeah, so he's plus 230. Tom Kim's plus 130. Homa's plus 190. I like Pavone there at plus 230. I think it's good odds. And then Rory, Victor Hovland, and Robert McIntyre. Rory's plus 115. Take those 3, parlay them up plus 1673. I think that's a hard 3-leg parlay to beat.
Did you say Homa plus 190?
Homa's plus 190 in the Pavone group.
Don't hate it.
I really wish Parker was here giving a little love to a guy who hasn't been here for a while because of work, but he hit like a 6-leg 3-ball parlay last weekend.
Parker
has been lights out with golf betting. If there was a tie in one of his there wasn't a tie in one of his groupings, it was a $10 to win 900 parlay, and it turned out to be 10 to win 440. But yeah, I really wish Parker was here for that. So yeah. Anyways, let's hop back into that NCAA. Before we break down some schedules, some big news. Oklahoma State running back Ollie Gordon II is arrested for a DUI. He is 27th in the Heisman voting or Heisman betting odds at plus 7,500. However, the real news story that has taken this over, I didn't even see Ollie Gordon get arrested, but his fucking coach, which can't say blame the guy, everybody's done it, but brother, the cameras are on. Oklahoma State football coach
part out loud.
Says, in reference to Ollie Gordon's DUI, I've drank 2, 3, 4 beers and drove 1,000 times before, in reference to the DUI. So, dude, just straight up out there is like, "Yep, I drink and drive." Hand up, we've all done it. But like, brother, the position you're in, the millions you're making, fucking have that be the conversation with Ollie in the one-on-one conversation in the office, man. You know, we've all done it. You got caught. Whoever it was, state trooper, sheriff, he was a dickhead, okay? Doesn't love him some Ollie Gordon. Doesn't love him some Cowboy football. Guy had to be a Sooner fan. Can't blame him for it. We're moving on. Says the punishment will be to run him 50 times week 1. Doesn't sound like a punishment to Ollie Gordon. The dude's probably going to find the end zone 3 or 4 times against whatever bullshit team Oklahoma State decides to play week 1.
Look for his player props if you're in states that allow them.
Yeah, because holy shit. Who do they – hold on. I got to find out who the sacrificial lamb is week 1 for Oklahoma State. South Dakota State, boys.
Yikes, those Jackrabbits getting fucked up.
Yeah, you better get ready because Ollie Gordon about to be a heavy dose of that shit. So enjoy that one, South Dakota State. But let's get into it. So for this week, we have decided to go for non-Power 5 football schools that get the auto bid. So Josh went and took the 5 highest.
4, I believe.
4 highest betting odd teams to get that.
This is as of bid. Like Sunday or Monday. It's changed quite a bit. I was just looking at the odds, but as of earlier this week's top 4
of the teams that are available to get that at-large bid.
Well, it's not at large. It's top non-Power 5.
Yeah, it's the auto pick for you're not getting in any other way unless you win this spot for those types of schools. So the betting favorite is Liberty at plus 450 to make the playoffs. Their win-loss total is 10.5, coming off of a 12-0 campaign.
Lost in the bowl game to Oregon.
Yes, and they got absolutely shellacked by Oregon in that game, which was pretty much everybody's thing of like, why even include these guys? This is what's going to happen. But I still think every dog has their day, and they get a chance here. So Liberty only has 1 Power 5 team on the schedule this year.
Those backwards.
Gotcha. They only have 1 other non-group of 5 team on their schedule. So somebody they could be competing with to get this spot.
It's 1 other group of 5 that's top 10 in odds to make the playoffs.
Yes. So week 1, they got Campbell Camels. Anybody going with the Camels here?
They shellacked them last year. They'll do it again.
All righty. Then they go into New Mexico State. Noticeable, New Mexico State beat Auburn last year at Auburn. So could prove to be a tough game, but I highly doubt it. I think Liberty takes that one too. Following that up with 2 of the worst teams in college football at times, respectfully, UTEP and East Carolina. That big game we were talking about is at Appalachian State. So I think this could be a loss because it's on the road. App State's a tough environment. App State's going to be one of those teams that's fighting for this playoff spot. What do you guys think here?
I didn't
I
look
think
at
this
App
is a
State's.
loss.
Yeah, I didn't look at App State's schedule. But this could decide the at-large bid, really. This one game. I know App State usually schedules a couple like Power Five schools, so they're gonna have a little bit of a harder road to be that top dog. I don't know if they're going based off record or if it's off FCS rankings or the playoff rankings. I don't know how they're doing it this year.
App State actually gets a treat week 2 and gets to go in and play Clemson at Clemson. And then they have noticeable returner from last year, James Madison and Liberty, of course. So a little bit of a tougher schedule than Liberty has. But I think this is a game, especially at home up in Boone, that might be able to get Liberty here.
For sure. Yeah, if Liberty is going to drop any, it's going to be to this App State squad. Because following App State is FIU, just one of the laughing stocks of college football, and then Kennesaw State, a newcomer. This is their first season at the FBS level, correct? I believe so.
No.
It's not for football? Google it. I'm pretty sure they're making the jump this year. Anyhow, following that, home against Jacksonville State, then at Middle Tennessee. If they're going to lose to, I think the second one is possibly to that Middle Tennessee team. They're typically half decent at the whole football. And then at UMass, probably not a big issue, versus Western Kentucky, and then at Sam Houston to finish out the year. Feels like an over. I don't really know what happened to their team through the portal and through the draft and everything, but
Yeah. I think this is an 11-1 team at the end of the year.
yeah, I'm just based off like who they play. Like they don't play anybody amazing.
They play App State, basically.
Yeah.
That's
like you have one team you got to get past.
Sorry, to answer your question from earlier, yes, they are FBS. It's just why I said no originally is this has been in the works since 2022. So it's their first move to Conference USA is where they'll be playing in is Kennesaw State. Sorry. But yeah, I agree with what you guys are saying. I don't see this being a 2-loss team anywhere. I definitely am taking the over on this 10.5. For them to lose 2 games, somebody's going to have to get up for them. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe Kennesaw shocks the world coming up to the FBS level, and maybe they're good. I mean, who knows? But in Middle Tennessee, I mean, they're typically a decent team. There's a couple, but no one super impressive.
Yeah, I definitely think this should be a 11-1 or another 12-0 squad. I can't tell you anything about App State, who they got, what they're doing. I just know that their atmosphere can get raucous. But if Liberty goes undefeated, I don't see another team on here vying for this spot that is going to go undefeated.
Well, as you mentioned, Tyler, with App State's schedule, if their only loss is to Liberty and they win those other 2 Power 5 matchups that they have scheduled, if it's ranking based, they could still be ahead of Liberty there. It would be definitely a close call.
Yeah, I don't see I don't know. I just don't see how Liberty doesn't make this into the playoffs. They would really have to shoot themselves in the foot, in my opinion, to not get there. Anybody else?
What is App State to make it? Because they're one of the top 10, but they were not one of the top 4. Yeah.
let me see if I can find her. App State.
You just got to think of the Liberty is one of those schools. It doesn't really matter who they play.
1,400. App State's plus 1,400.
Yeah.
And again, what did you mean, Cole?
Huh?
What do you mean by that?
Like, they're going to beat the shit out of everyone because they beat the shit out of everyone every year. I think they've been 12-0 for the past 3 years.
That's not right. They were 7-5 and 21 and 8-4 and 22.
Weren't they? 12-0 last year?
Last year, not the last 3 years.
All right, well, whatever. Who are they playing, dude? That's the thing.
I don't think they played anybody last year.
I don't think so.
No, I think we specifically talked about this last year. They had one of the easiest schedules in college football, and they
Yeah.
went 12-0.
Yeah.
So, which makes me think App State could get them. Again, by no means is this a hard schedule, but some of their better opponents are on the road. But again, I think this team hits the over and probably gets this playoff spot.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. Let's hop to the next team, though. John's Pride and Joy, Boise State Broncos. They were plus 500 to make the playoffs, over under 9.5 in the Mountain West. Again, depending on how they're deciding this spot, Boise State, I think, could get the spot with one loss, maybe even as one of the 7 at-larges, because they're playing 3 Power 5 schools.
Yeah, they have a lot tougher schedule than Liberty. Now, if somehow Boise State evens up with Liberty, I think their strength of schedule would be way better, and they would get in over Liberty for sure. But they've even Georgia Southern isn't a horrible team. It really depends how Boise State comes out and play, and that's at Georgia Southern. 2 road games to start the year is not ideal.
Especially one of them being Oregon.
Yeah, week 2 going into Eugene. That's a hard one.
Yeah, Oregon's going to have a nice tune-up game against them. That's what Dylan Gabriel. He's gonna just dice Boise State. Sorry to hurt your heart, John, but just keep the TV off on that one. Turn off the ESPN notifications, because it's about to be every 5 fucking minutes. Oregon up 7-0. Oregon up 14-0.
But
the Oregon Duck is going to come out looking like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger after this game.
I root for the blue turf, so away games, they don't faze me.
Okay. The blue turf magic.
I think even after a week 2 loss to Oregon, if they went out after that, I think they have to be in the conversation. We mentioned that they have to play 3 Power 5 schools, and that's because technically the Pac-12 isn't dissolved yet, and the only 2 Pac-12 schools left are playing in the Mountain West this year. They're just kind of getting absorbed, which really, for optics, the Mountain West should want the Pac-12 to absorb them and become the new Pac-12, but that's semantics. Yeah. So they have to, and they're unlucky enough to draw both Washington State and Oregon State. I didn't go through every Mountain West schedule, but I would say that probably happened to maybe 3 or 4 teams. So that's pretty fucking shitty.
Yeah. So let's run through it. We talked about Georgia Southern, not going to be a cupcake, but definitely going to be favored for Boise State here. Then they go into Oregon. Then they get Portland State, their own little tune-up game at home on the Smurf turf. And then they host Wazoo at home on the Smurf turf. Going to be a tough game. I don't know what Wazoo's got going on. I know they had a couple transfers leave. I believe their quarterback left.
I'm pretty sure he did as well. Without deep diving, that sounds correct. And then following that, they host Utah State, so they get 3 in a row at home. But that Utah State team, they're no slouches. I mean, they're not world beaters by any means, but they're not a bad football team. Then
Cam Ward left Washington State, and they have Zevi Akas from Bryant playing quarterback for Wazoo Wildcats this year, boys.
I've heard of that school before.
Come on, Zevi. Bring the boys home. Bring the boys a Pac-12 championship. Golly. From fucking Bryant? That's the best we could do? Fuck me, Wazoo. I'm going to say it. Zevi ain't fucking getting it done. I'm getting the Broncos against Washington State at home.
So you have them at or what is that, 3-1 then
3-1.
into week 5?
Yep.
All right. I
And
like
then-
that. What
yeah, I
about
don't hate it.
Utah?
Utah State, not Utah.
Same thing. I think Boise gets the win there.
I agree. And then at Hawaii, should be a nice little vacation for the boys up in Idaho. I don't know how many Idaho guys have been out to Hawaii, but enjoy the scenery. Don't get your fucking toes caught in the sand. Go win this game. It's a business trip. Should be good with one loss through what is that, week 6, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Then they get to go into the desert. They do get a bye week after Hawaii, probably due to the traveling, and they get a little bit of Friday night light action at UNLV. Here's the thing. UNLV could surprise, like UNLV is going to surprise somebody this year. And Boise State, don't let it be you coming home from Hawaii. Like, there's a chance. So
Can you imagine? You get to
I
spend a
mean-
week in Hawaii and then you get to spend a week in Vegas? Fuck yeah, dude.
Well, no, it's a week and then a break and then a weekend.
So you get to spend 2 weeks in Vegas.
I'd be broke.
Facts.
But no, I think Boise State beats UNLV. I don't think UNLV is a very good football team, so
they went 9-5 last year. So not like a horrible team. They held Michigan to 35 points and they beat Vanderbilt by 3. Who else did they
Vanderbilt.
play? They beat Air Force. Josh, you can
fuck
shed a
you.
tear for
I
that
knew
one.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
However, Boise
No.
State did win this matchup last year,
Yeah.
44-20. So
Just
I
let
do
that
think
thing
it's
hang
safe
on
to.
'em.
I do think it's safe to say UNLV loses this one to Boise State.
Yeah.
And then moving on to
Another.
San Diego State at home on the Smurf turf. What's the temperature like up there in Idaho in early November? Because I don't think it's going to be as nice as San Diego is.
Probably pretty fucking cold.
It's a little crisp, tad bit nipply.
Yeah. So I again think the home field advantage beats the Aztecs of San Diego State.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
then
then
we're
go ahead.
They got Nevada up next. However, Nevada, again, coming out of the desert and going up to the Smurf turf.
Hey, they can cover against Iowa. They can cover against Boise State.
That game was the biggest crock of bullshit.
I lost
of
so
all
much fucking
time
money
from
on that
Vegas.
game, dude.
That was the biggest crock of bullshit from Vegas of all time. That game got played till 1 a.m. for absolutely no reason.
Because all the money was on the fucking Nevada spread, right? Or
Yes.
Iowa spread, one way or the other. As soon
No,
as the
it
other
was
team
all
covered.
on Nevada to cover the spread, and as soon as Iowa covered the spread, they called the fucking game. That was bullshit.
Facts.
I
Fucking
still gotta-
thunderstorms, getting them out there between lightning strike delays and shit.
Yeah, that game was bullshit. But again, I think it's safe for Boise State here.
Yeah, the Smurfs
Yeah.
will get them.
This episode of Show Me the Money is brought to you by Tavern Sports, your place to get fun sports content, sportsbook lines and parlays, and of course food reviews with Big E's Ballpark Bites. You can follow Tavern Sports on Instagram at Tavern Sports 2023, TikTok at Tavern.Sports, and Twitter at Tavern Sports 23.
Yeah, I
Where
think
they
they go
going?
into San Jose State, going down to California, but NorCal. So it's not going to be like super warm. It'll be a little nipply down there by the time November 16th rolls around. I don't think San Jose State's worth a fuck, so probably another safe one for the Broncos there. Then at Wyoming, John, I know you love Wyoming. They brought you your guy.
They did. That is true.
I think
Our
he
Lord and
also
Savior.
beat Iowa, so definitely played Iowa his final year in college, and then rounding it out at home against Oregon State, the other Power 5 school on the schedule. Luckily, they're getting both Washington State and Oregon State at home, and they both lost their quarterbacks and have fucking no names at quarterback now. So that's really good for them. they'll look like very good wins if they're able to get them, which is also good.
I don't see the 3 losses.
I don't either. And it's definitely because they have 3 Power 5 schools on here. Because I mean, Tyler, you mentioned Georgia Southern and UNLV. I don't think you can look past San Diego State too much. I mean, San Diego State scared Air Force if they didn't beat them last year. I don't quite remember. I do remember sitting up and watching the entire game though. But the Mountain West isn't awful. It's just not a Power 5 conference for a fucking reason.
Yeah. Like, to me, realistically, Oregon's, I feel the only loss that I'm like 100%
Agreed.
think that's going to happen.
And then maybe
But
they
those-
drop one to the other 2.
I feel like they dropped 1 to the other 2. But it's like,
Agreed.
I still feel like the over just feels weird to me.
It's
It
just
feels
so
just a
weird
little-
with these.
It just feels
Well, and they
funky.
went 7-5 last year.
Do we think this Boise State team's going to be 10-2? Like,
After 7-5 last year, I mean, their schedule's really bad.
So I'm about as casual as a college football fan as there is. A little 10-year-old John fell in love with the Boise State blue turf. When he was 10 years old, watching Kellen Moore fucking sling it lefty on these fuckers. But in my experience, they usually drop a game to some dog shit Mountain West school, which is why that Wyoming game at Wyoming kind of scares me.
So they beat Wyoming 32-7 last year.
Yep.
So from who they played last year to this year, beat UNLV 44-20, beat Utah State 45-10, beat New Mexico 42-14, Wyoming 32-7, San Jose 35-27. So that one was close.
Who they
Who are
dropped
their
to in the
losses?
Mountain West last year?
They lost
Utah?
to
Or Utah
Fresno State, Colorado State by 1 point. Memphis was a group of 5 school, not Mountain West, but group of 5. And then losses early in the year to UCF and Washington. They gave them a fucking beating.
just strictly off gut feel, I'm going under here. I think they are going to be a 9-win team. I think they don't get any of their Power 5 wins, is my guess on their 3 losses.
And looking at what they did last year compared to their schedule this year, their schedule looks soft as shit. I'm gonna.
Holy shit! I thought Georgia Southern would have a chance here. Fucking the Blue Books got Boise State as 10.5-point favorites already.
Yeah,
Give me the over. Give me the over at 10. I think they're a 10-win team. I think you're going to be sweating it Friday, November 29th.
Yeah, I agreed.
But I think it'll be an over.
I would lean that way too, but unless Oregon State keeps a defense of some sort, we didn't deep dive them, so I can't tell you. But if their 3 losses are going to come, it's either going to be all 3 of their Power 5s, or it's going to be 2 of the Power 5s and a random. And I don't hate that, so I'm going to be on the under here.
Dog.
I'm going to be on the under Boise State.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
I like it a lot.
But we spent way too much time on Boise State.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the dirty fucking South. Let's go Memphis plus 600 to make the playoffs, over under 9.5. Coming off of a 6-6 campaign in 2021, a 6-6 campaign in 2022, and 9-3 last year. Notable, these guys, a little bit of a tougher schedule this season. Troy, FSU, South Florida, UTSA, the Meat Meeps, Tulane. I don't, just going off first look, I don't see them going over here. But let's dive into it. They get University of Northern Alabama. They're going to absolutely
break legs.
Yeah, they're going to absolutely destroy them.
Yes.
However, they've got Troy week 2.
That's a tough one.
Luckily, it's in Memphis, but that's not a long trip for Troy, though. I mean, they'll probably bus ride it on Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, Troy.
Weren't they
I like
pretty
Troy.
decent last year?
Yeah. I think they won the SWAC for like the second year in a row, third year in a row.
I don't think they're in the SWAC. I think they're in the Sun Belt.
Sun Belt. That's what I
Yeah.
meant.
I'm pretty sure it's a Sun
Yeah,
Belt.
it's Sun Belt. It's 100% the Sun Belt.
I don't know. From what I've got on my screen right
Yeah,
here
they won the Sun Belt last year.
yeah, I got Memphis having a 78% chance to win against Troy right here.
You know what's interesting? Troy faces Memphis week 2, and they've got Iowa week 3. And I'm kind of worried about them beating Iowa. However, they're over. Troy's win total is only at 6.5 this year. So maybe Troy fell off a little bit, lost a lot of guys to the transfers. I cannot find a line for this game as of right now. But I think it's safe to say with Troy's win total being at 6.5 and Memphis at 9.5, they're going to be favored. However, that's an iffy one. That I don't necessarily think we need to spend a ton of time on, but it could be an interesting game if you're looking for a parlay piece that week. I'm sure we'll get to that on September 7th. The next week, though, at Florida State is about to be an ass whooping.
Fucking bloodbath.
Clark's holding up the L.
I'll say this, Memphis. Go win it, put the fucking nation on notice, but I don't think you're fucking gonna.
That'd be nuts.
I don't think Memphis has that kind of dog in them.
No.
Look out for Navy the following week. You're going to go straight from getting your ass handed to you from Florida State into the fucking triple option. Fuck yeah, baby. Look out. That triple option can get people.
I don't think it's going to get them.
Hey, it could, but I'm going to give this one to Memphis. Shout out to the soldiers, but like focus on the Taliban or something, Ukraine and Russia, but not Memphis football, all right? You guys got formal training in the Navy. Memphis, them boys come from South Florida.
No, them boys come from fucking Memphis.
I'm just saying.
No.
I'm just saying. They ain't clean cut. All right. Next, moving on. Middle Tennessee, definitely going to be a dub there. At South Florida, this is one of their power conference games.
Group of 5, that's top 10 to make.
God damn it. Your notes are so
I had them backwards. I told you they were fucking backwards.
Yeah, fix it, idiot. So at South Florida, I think this one might be an L here. Tough road game. I'm going to give it to the Bulls of South Florida. Anybody?
I don't know about like specifically South Florida. I think spoiler. I'm gonna end up going under on Memphis because I don't know about South Florida. I mean, obviously South Florida is an iffy one. Troy's kind of scary. I said Navy's scary. UTSA and Tulane are both very scary. We haven't gotten to them yet here. But I think they have 3 for sure losses and 3 asterisks on their schedule.
Yeah, I'm willing to give the win to USF just because it's at home. If it's in Memphis, I think Memphis wins that game.
USF win total is at 7.5, and it's juiced to the under, by the way. Just for those
Navy's
out there.
5.5 for those who care.
Moving on, they got Charlotte next.
You forgot Texas North.
Oh shit! Sorry, I did overlook the mean green of North Texas. That's going to be a W. I think Memphis is doing the same as I was and will overlook North Texas and beat the fuck out of them, and then move on to Charlotte and beat the shit out of them. Cole, you might be able to go get eyes on that one for us if you really, really want to. Probably not worth your time, but if you feel like it.
This is
next,
an L here.
I agree with you. Going up against the Meat Meeps, baby, one of my favorite fucking teams at UTSA.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing. I mentioned this already. We haven't got Tulane, South Florida on the road, UTSA on the road, FSU on the road, Navy on the road. I don't care what you guys say. At least they get Troy at home. Thank God.
Yeah, a little bit of some road dogs here for Memphis this season. But I'm going to go ahead and give this one to UTSA on the road.
Agreed.
I agree.
And then next we have Rice and then UAB. Short trip for UAB to come up to Memphis. But I think those should be 2 wins in a row. And then they have at Tulane, and we have it noted they are 0-2 versus Tulane in the last 2 years.
Make it 0-3, baby.
Facts.
So Tulane's going to be the next team that we talk about, actually. And Tulane is plus 1,100 to make the playoffs.
Whoa, we aren't even going to give our opinions on the over or under for Memphis. We're just going to.
I'm just letting you know, like, that's what's in line for this game. Is there's
gotcha.
a chance Tulane is also fighting for this same playoff spot. A little bit worse odds, but they seem to have Memphis's number. So I'm going to take the under here with Memphis.
Totally agree.
I'll tell that.
They were under the last 3 years. They've been under this number, and I don't think their schedule does them much in sense of favors. They're definitely going to have a loss by week 4. So then you're treading water to stay above this number the rest of the season. Not every fucking team in college football can go 10-2, boys. So I definitely like the under here with Memphis.
Yep, totally agree.
All right. Tulane plus 1,100, over under 7.5. They went 2-10 in 2021. Massive turnaround. Go 10-2 in 2022 and 11-1 in 2023.
Yeah, I think those numbers are 100% based off Michael Pratt. The guy was a fucking killer during his time at Tulane. He is gone now, which is why I think you see that win total at 7.5. I think if he was still there, even against this schedule, I think you see it at, I don't know, 9.5. They probably give him 2 more wins. Maybe 8.5, maybe just 1 more win, but still, I mean, Michael Pratt leaving is huge for this Tulane team.
Yeah, so let's dive into it. Week 1, they got Southeast Louisiana. That's going to be a bloodbath. Tulane's going to handle that shit easily. Next, though, they have K-State coming down to visit.
They beat K-State 2 years ago.
I think K-State gets the win here. I think K-State's going to be a good team this year.
K-State doesn't have a fucking quarterback.
I don't care. I think they're going to be a solid team this year. They're going to be fighting for a Big 12 championship.
I don't know. That one's.
I'm with Clark on this one. I think K-State wins this for sure. Especially, Josh, because you said it's first big game for whatever quarterback that Tulane throws in.
Agreed. And I will go with K-State specifically for that reason. I was just about to say that. If it was two Power 5 schools that both lost their quarterbacks, I would say it's still a toss-up. But K-State being Power 5, Tulane being Group of 5, I think that has a big effect on who you can get in there and win. So I think K-State gets it. Following the K-State matchup, they go into Oklahoma.
That's
for
tough.
A good old ass beating. I mean,
yeah, that's just going to be a Power 5 school beating the shit out of you.
School,
Yeah.
Next is down to Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, my worst nightmare.
Beat Iowa State. What was that? 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, it was like the first game 3 years ago. But no, I'm gonna be honest here. I think Louisiana gets the win here, and I think this is gonna be the chink in Tulane's armor that sends them on a downhill slide.
I think this is like a big rivalry for them too, isn't it?
To be honest, I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure Tulane plays in Baton Rouge, so.
But
Baton Rouge is LSU.
Is it?
Yes, Baton Rouge is LSU.
Oh.
But yeah, I think Louisiana wins this game, and I think it's the chink in the armor that gives them maybe
my bad.
1 or 2 more losses on the schedule for Tulane still. I think I think it's gonna be a downhill slide after the 3 losses. I think it's gonna fuck with them a bit.
I agree with you. Going against South Florida, that one's at home. I think they're going to be okay there. Then they go into UAB. That could get ugly. I don't think so. I would expect Tulane to win that game. Then they've got Rice, North Texas, and Charlotte. Who do you Who do you think in that stretch is beating them, Clark?
I think the two teams that have the biggest chance are UAB and North Texas.
See, I was just about to say, at least they get easy games on the road at North Texas and Charlotte. North Texas was one of the worst teams in the country last year, both on offense and defense.
Well, according to what I've got here, is those are the two games where they have a 62% chance against UAB and a 67% chance against North Texas. So those are the two.
So they're still heavily favored.
They're still favored. But I think after those three losses, I think it's going to be tough for them down the stretch. They're going to win majority of the rest of their games, I think. But I think there's one or two more losses that could be snuck in there.
Yeah. After North Texas and Charlotte, they have Temple. They also go to Navy, and then they have Memphis. Look, I know we gave Tulane the win against Memphis when we just talked about Memphis. Think that game could be more of a toss-up. Also, it depends. If Tulane's defeated by this time of the year, Memphis somehow is rolling. I know I took their under personally, but if they are fighting, they might be able to sneak up on Tulane here. It is at home for Tulane, so I want to give it to them. But seeing 5 losses for this team on the schedule is hard. But at the same time, I think they dropped 3 of their first 4 with you, Clark, and that doesn't set you up for success down the road. It's not
3
a
of
lot
the
of
first
confidence.
5. 3 of the first 5.
3 of the first
Southeast
4.
Louisiana.
I think they lose K-State, Oklahoma, Louisiana.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know we were counting Louisiana.
I think they might lose to
I think
Louisiana.
they lose.
Well,
I think they
okay,
lose.
let's go full doomsday then. They come out 1-4, 1-5 after a loss to UAB. Coach is out. Ain't no way they're beating Memphis if that happens.
Mm-mm.
No, coach is out after 2 massively winning seasons might be bold, but I don't know. I don't know if Tulane without a stud quarterback is going to be the guy, or is going to be the team that they once were. So I'm going to take the under here just because if they start out poorly, I don't think they'd carry the momentum the rest of the season, but I don't necessarily love it. If this was an 8.5, I'd for sure take the under. However,
So hear me out here, Ty. Take the under, but sprinkle quarter unit on that plus 1,100 number.
No, not even worth it for me to bet them to make the playoffs.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know where to go with this Tulane team.
I also think under 7.5.
They lost Pratt. The year prior, they lost their running back. They got a pretty rough schedule. I'll take the under just because if they end even at 2-3 after the first 5, it only takes one other unforeseen loss and then a loss to Memphis to get the under. I'll go under with you guys, but I'm not especially happy to do it.
That's fair.
It looks like their quarterback is going to be Ty Thompson, who is a junior. I don't have any numbers on him. I can't even confirm if that is the starter, but that's who I'm seeing. I guess their website, Tulane's website, is kind of shit for the football roster, but that's who I think it is. But I have no idea about him. But yeah, I'm going to lean under. Probably won't put anything on it, but could be an interesting number to see, or watching the fall off of Tulane after the last 2 years. But let's get into NFL talk, guys.
Yeah, so what y'all don't know is we're going to do the same thing now that we've gone through the Power 4, I guess, technically, and now the Group of 5. To keep on with the same thing, we're going to do exactly what we've been doing. We're going to go division by division in the NFL. Luckily, there's only 4 teams per division, so we're going to go through every team in every division, talk win total, talk who we like to win the division, and just kind of do quick runs through the schedule. This week, we're going to start with the AFC South, mainly because we don't think it's going to be super competitive, but we could also be very wrong. I mean, the Colts and the Jags could possibly figure out and challenge these Texans, but with how good Stroud looked last year, I think it's going to be the Texans' division to lose for a very long time.
That's fair. looking at it like straight up, yeah, Texans obviously the favorite.
I think
Something's telling me though, like I want to dabble money on the Colts. For some reason, I just
if
love
Richardson
Anthony
is
Richardson.
healthy, he looked
I
good last year when he was
Dude,
healthy.
I am so excited to watch him play football this year. And
Um,
I wouldn't be surprised because
yeah.
if
So let
looking back, okay, yeah, looking back, so last year the Texans were plus 800 to win the AFC South, won it. Going back to 22, the Jags were plus 750 and won it.
So what
So
you're saying is Titans at plus 800 is the lock.
yes. What I'm saying is the favorite hasn't won it the past 2 years.
Yeah, so
The
let's
Titans
look at
did
the
it in 20.
odds. The Texans are
Yeah.
plus 105. I think at that they're a fucking steal. I mean, all they did all offseason was improve. Picked up
Yes.
Joe Mixon, pick up Stephon
Stephon.
Diggs. I mean, just Maseratis all over on offense.
And if
Um,
CJ gets any better, oh, they're gonna be so good.
as long as he stays healthy and stays consistent. The
Yeah.
Jags at plus 270. The second year in a row that they've worked over their receiving core. Um, calls after last year that maybe Trevor Lawrence isn't the savior everyone thought he was. I mean, I don't think anyone thinks he's bad. Don't get me wrong,
No, no.
but maybe not like a top 5 guy like everyone thought he was going to be coming out. Colts at plus 330. Again, Clark, you mentioned it could be a very good value bet if A-Rich can stay healthy because he looked very good the first 2 weeks of the season last year. Very,
Hmm.
very good. Although now this year teams are going to have tape on them. They're going to have 2 weeks worth of tape to look at.
Hmm.
So we'll see. And then the Titans, who kind of tore it down to the studs, but also bought old wide receivers and fired their coach, who was a very good coach and still doesn't have a fucking job anywhere,
I think
and like are in the middle of rebuilding a line and have a young quarterback. Like I don't know what the fuck the Titans are doing
no.
at plus 800.
I think the Titans picking up old receivers, as in Calvin Ridley, was a move on Calvin Ridley's part to make some money off the sports books. He was like plus 1,800 to go to the Titans. I definitely think he laid money down on that just to make a buck, a quick buck.
That's great. So let's get into some win totals. Texans at 9.5. Clark,
Looking,
can you get
I'm pulling it up
their
right now.
record from last year?
Oh, record from last year.
Yeah, I got the schedule.
Yes, I have
They were
that
10
right
and
here.
7, weren't they?
10-7. Yep.
10-7. Okay, so the book's saying fucking repeat, idiots. They're gonna open their
Yeah.
season in Indianapolis, then home against the Bears, then at Minnesota, home against Jacksonville, home against Buffalo, Stephon Diggs revenge game, at New England, at Green Bay, home against Indy, at New York Jets, home against the Lions, at Dallas, home against the Titans, at Jacksonville, bye week 14, home against Miami, at Kansas City, home against Baltimore, finishing out at Tennessee. Now you heard those last 3. That's a rough fucking schedule. I mean, Miami aside, you're catching Baltimore and Kansas City. The reason that's happening is because recently when the NFL went to 17 games, they match you up. Like if you won your division, they match you up with other division winners to try to level everything out. So they're catching division winners from the AFC West,
Yeah.
the AFC North, and then they already play the AFC East. So I guess that's why they are getting Dallas, who won the NFC East last year. I would assume that's how that's working out.
I think so, yeah.
I'm not 100% sure on
Look,
how all this works anymore, but
after going through that schedule there quickly and you just naming the teams they're playing and not knowing whether it's home or away, I had 8 wins.
I think they drop one to both Indy and Jacksonville.
I agree.
I hate siding with Dallas, but
I kind of feel like we should give it to them.
we'll probably have to give it to Dallas, Kansas City, and Baltimore. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it on a fucking podcast. If Lamar Jackson was white, he would be considered the best quarterback in the league right now. He'd be the face of the league. Sorry, not sorry.
I don't think
No, his stats were horrible last
He
year. I
has
actually
2 MVPs.
I know, but I disagree. He shouldn't have been MVP last year.
Brock
So
Purdy should have been the MVP.
I don't think Lamar should have been MVP last year, and I disagree with you. He is not the best quarterback in the league, anywhere near it. Actually,
He's
good.
obviously
He's really
better than
good.
Mahomes.
Yeah, he's really good, but he is not the best.
So in the NFL, right, 17 games, so 10-7 or 9-6. So basically it's find 8 losses. Do we see 8 losses? I see 2 in division, 2 to the Chiefs in Baltimore, maybe Miami. Maybe. I mean, they get Miami at home, not in South Beach, which is nice.
I think the Packers can beat them.
Dallas, we said Dallas. And
Bills
then-
are one that I'm not sure.
So Bills and Packers would give you 9 if you counted up everything that I've just counted up.
Hmm
I don't think they're going to
Um,
beat Buffalo and Miami. I think they're going to drop to one of those 2 teams. Because Miami late in the season, you never know what you're going to get.
hmm
I mean, at least with Mike McDaniel, like the last 2 years, they started out like ridiculous and then they fade. Which Buffalo's the complete opposite. Buffalo starts out ridiculous and then they fade. I don't know. That AFC East is tough, man. I mean,
Good thing we're talking about the West.
I have them losing. I know. I'm talking about because they have to play the Jets too, and the Jets have a great defense. They're going to play that game in New York.
We didn't
if
even
Aaron
mention.
Rodgers stays healthy,
If Aaron Rodgers is healthy, like I don't see them beating the Jets at New York.
We
It's a
didn't even
Thursday
mention the
night game.
Lions yet.
Right.
yeah.
I mean,
To me, this
and factor in
screams
the
under.
possibility of a sophomore slump. I mean, it's not a guarantee, but a lot of
Right.
people have sophomore slumps.
Yeah, this could be a team that's wins the division, and it's just not a great division this year.
I know. I think the winner of this division wins 10 games. But
I
I think
agree.
the fact that they got first, which means they have to play Dallas,
That's
Kansas City, and Baltimore instead of like the Colts, who are gonna get the fucking Raiders or the Chargers maybe.
Yeah.
And fucking who else? The Redskins and
Whoa!
oh, sorry.
The
Sorry.
The
Damn.
Say
what?
that. Sorry to go.
The what?
I didn't hear you.
The what?
Redskins.
Canceled. All right. Go ahead and mute and
I like the Texans
I don't-
under 9.5.
I agree. I like under 9.5.
see. I'm gonna go against you guys.
That's fine.
I don't. You guys talked about splitting with the Jags, and who else?
The Colts.
I don't see it. Anthony Richardson has played what 3 full NFL games? And
Has
the
he
Col-
finished the game?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
Has he
I don't
finished the game?
like.
He
We don't know
balled
what
out his
Anthony
first 2
Rich-
games.
We don't know what Anthony Richardson is.
He's
Granted.
a dog.
We don't know that. He wasn't that great in college. I still
believe-
hate on this guy for getting draft picked anyway, and then he got hurt. Gardner Minshew's not there anymore.
I
But
believe.
Joe Flacco is. Joey Flacco
is, baby.
Joe
I
Flacco
believe.
is. Totally different types of offense, though, with those 2 quarterbacks. Anyway, I don't see a split with the Colts. I don't really see a split with the Jags. Like, they added Daniil Hunter on the D line.
I
Stephon
forgot
Diggs,
about that. Did forget
Like-
about Hunter.
and Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter. Fucking the Jags O-line ain't holding up to that. Trevor Lawrence has been known to hold the ball a little long at some times. Like, Trevor Lawrence isn't the fucking guy that he was in college. He's good. He is good. And then Anthony Richardson's going to be running for his fucking life out there. And I don't think the Colts D-line is going to be getting to CJ Stroud as much. CJ Stroud has got plenty of targets. Joe Mixon in the backfield.
Okay,
Like-
so hear me out here, Ty. Hear me out here. Baltimore, Kansas City, Miami or Buffalo, Dallas, Detroit. 1 game in the division. I don't think they go 6-0. Give them 5-1. And then we haven't mentioned the Jets. The possibility of losing both to Buffalo and Miami, or the Bears if we're good, probably not, or Green Bay. They do have to go into Lambeau.
Like
But they have Miami at home.
They have
What
Buffalo
week
at
is
home.
What week is it?
15 right after the bye.
Okay, so Miami gonna crumble again late season, maybe? Who knows?
they can.
Who knows if Tua's healthy? Could be, probably. I'd hope he is. I really like Miami. But I think you guys are seriously doubting this Texans team. They've done nothing but improve. It's a nightmare defensively for any team matching up with them. You don't have that many guys in the secondary. And okay, cool. You're going to fucking go dime package on me, nickel package on me, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is good. Or fuck it, CJ Stroud, beat feet, pick up 10 yards. Don't give a shit. Don't get hit.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
What did the Texans go last year?
10-7.
But then also, I don't know if you were here for it. We looked back the past 2 years. The favorite hasn't won. The favorite's only won out of the last 6 years one time.
There are light years difference between the Texans, the Jags, the Colts, and the Titans this year.
There's also light years difference in the AFC South the last 4 years to what it is now.
Yeah. The Texans at plus money right now is sinful. These guys should be
I like the
150.
Texans at plus money.
I like it.
They're winning the division, and I'm taking
them.
All right, you fucking talk me into it. I'll go over.
Yeah, Tyler, I like over. I like over as well. I think they go 2-2 against the AFC East. I think they lose to Detroit. I think they drop a game to Dallas, and then they probably lose that Week 17 game against the Titans because it won't matter. And what's that get us to? 5 losses?
That's 5, and you didn't talk Kansas City or Baltimore.
They're going to lose to Kansas City. I think they'll beat Baltimore.
Where's Baltimore at?
It's at home on Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. CJ Stroud's throwing a fucking birthday party for Jesus on Christmas.
Santa Claus is coming to Stroud, baby. Let's go.
I just think it's going to be – I think it could be a lot closer than you guys think it is. They could blow this out of the water. I think they're more likely to blow this number out of the water than just miss it, I guess is kind of – but I think there's a world where they do just miss this. I don't think there's a world where they're a 6-win team.
So all three of you think over then?
Yeah, they got me onto the over, but I'm not super happy about it.
I'm still going to stick with my under here.
You're smoking dick. Sketch, brother. Moving on. The Jags. The Jags at plus 270 with an over-under of 8.5. Josh, run us through their schedule.
Yeah, opening up at Miami. We know Miami in the early season is pretty good at the footballs. Then hosting Cleveland, at Buffalo, at Houston, hosting Indianapolis, hosting the Bears. That's an overseas game, right? For the Bears?
Yeah, NFL.
It's our London game. It's a London game. And then the following week, also in London against New England. Honestly, I don't care what team that is. It could be any team in the league. I think they probably would have won that one, just getting the time zone advantage there. Then getting a true home game against the Packers, at Philly, hosting Minnesota, at Detroit. Bye week, host Houston, at Tennessee, host the Jets, host Vegas. At Vegas, host Tennessee, at the Colts.
Oh God, that's a lot. I think they win both London games.
That's the
Bears and the
Patriots.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Going through, so
I think at that point
they're going to beat Buffalo week 3.
I think by week 6 the Bears can be rolling. I don't know if the Bears lose that.
Let's just roll through it quick. Miami, I think, gets the win week 1.
Early season, I think Miami gets it.
I think Miami gets it. So 0-1. Week 2, I think they beat Cleveland.
Yeah, Believe lands no more.
Yep.
Week 3, do we think they beat them?
They don't beat the Bills.
In Buffalo? I don't think so.
In Buffalo?
What are the Bills, though? What are they?
The Bills are going to be fine, but Josh Allen's never beaten Josh Allen.
Josh Allen did
You
pick
mean
off
Jonathan
Josh Allen.
Hines Allen now? Did you
Yeah,
guys
he
see that?
changed his name. He changed his name. So
Well, maybe
the
that
deep
changes
run.
things. But I believe what did Urban Meyer get? 2 wins in the NFL, and one of them was against Buffalo, and they were like 17-point favorites. Beat them like 9-6.
So
we have
you, as a Bills fan, think the Jags win?
The
this?
Jags have our number.
The Jags have the
our
Bills
number.
fucking number.
They beat us
So-
in London last year. We fucking lost to Urban Meyer. Like I'm not betting against them.
So we have two wins for him right now in week 3.
I think they lose to the Texans.
Lose to
On
the
the
Texans.
road.
Yep.
I think they win this game against the Colts at home.
Agreed. I think they lose to the Bears. I think the Bears are rolling by week 6.
You think?
This is
It's
the London-
London,
I do.
though. It's
The London
London.
But it's the first week of it. It's the first
It
week of
doesn't
it.
matter. The Jags own
They're winning
London.
that.
The
I
Jags
think they
own
win.
London.
So they got 3 wins week 6.
They're not losing to the Patriots. They're
Week
a fucking
4
joke
wins.
of a franchise.
4 wins week 7. I think they get an L against the Packers in week 8.
Probably. I think an L against Philly.
L against Philly. W against Minnesota.
Agreed. An L against the Lions.
L against the Lions. L against the Texans again.
Is that Lions game?
It's at Detroit.
Yeah, it's a
But
Detroit
I'm-
home game.
Okay, yeah. Never mind. I had a different question, but forget it.
Okay. I think the Texans win this.
I think they sweep the Titans.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So that's 6.
Like they lose
I think they lose to the Jets.
Okay. Still sitting at 6. Give them 7 against the Raiders.
Yep.
7
8
against
against the
Raiders.
Titans.
And then I think a loss against Indy, because if Indy's
See-
good, this game's going to matter a lot.
See, I think this is the game they take from Indy. Or no. Did I give them the other one? I think they beat Indy when they're at home. And
Okay,
lose
so you
at
think
the
they
away game.
lose? You think they lose at week 17 then?
18.
18.
Yes.
It goes to 8.
Yeah.
9.
So 8 what?
Under-
8
were they
wins or
8.5?
8 losses?
That was 8 wins, I'm pretty sure.
With a win against Buffalo
And the
So I-
Bears.
and the Bears.
So we're calling that an under.
I'm going under. It was 8.5.
Did we give
Yeah.
them a win or a loss against New York?
A
loss.
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 So I mean that could switch it up, but we don't know what the Jets are.
Your defense is so fucking good.
The Jets are going to be
They
good.
can average 17 a game and win 8 games.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch Garrett Wilson this year.
Yeah, I think ETN's going to have to be insane, specifically against the Lions, because I think the Lions secondary is going to be fine against the Jags receiving core. ETN's going to have a crazy game against the Eagles, a crazy game against the Jets. I don't see this team going over here.
Yeah, I mean, even 2
Under
years ago when they
8.5.
won this division, they won 9 games. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the under.
I like the under as
Give me
well.
the under.
So after that, we got the young upstart Colts also at 8.5. We got to start finding people to go under here, guys.
This is my
Let's
sleeper
see.
team in the AFC South. This is my sleeper team to win it.
let's go week by week instead of having me rattle off 17 games.
I agree.
Thanks, Josh.
Starting in Houston, loss.
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 No, it's at home. It's at home.
Or sorry, at home, yes. Loss.
It's
Loss.
the Stroud House, not the Loud House. It's the Stroud House.
At Green Bay,
L.
Loss.
Loss. I don't think the Colts have the secondary to keep up with the young Packers receiving
at
core.
Chicago is a loss. I won't
This
let
is-
you give it to them.
This
I
is
won't.
in Indy, I thought.
It
Win.
is, but I don't. Sorry, yeah, no, it's in Indy. I don't know how to read.
I think it's a win.
no, it's a loss.
I'm not going to bet on. I'm not going to believe in the
The
Bears
fucking
until I
loss.
watch them.
They had the best defense the last 6 or 7 weeks of the season last year,
I know I'm
and
a
it
Bears
only
fan.
got
and
better.
I know I'm a Bears fan and I'm biased, but I think the Bears win this one. Same reason. If Caleb Williams can throw to anybody, the Colts secondary can't keep up with our receiving core.
And our secondary is going to lock down Michael Pittman Jr. I'm sorry, he's not a top 15 guy in the league. He's just
Really?
fucking not. I'm not a Michael Pittman guy.
Me either.
Really?
Pittman fucking
Pittman,
stinks.
he's
That
fine.
guy's cost me more
He's put
money
up good stats
than
every year,
anybody
though.
I can think of.
Pittman is fine. Pittman is he is a wide receiver 2 on a great team.
Agreed.
But if he's your wide receiver
Allen
1,
Robinson. He's Allen Robinson.
exactly. But if he's your wide receiver 1, your team's not very good.
He's like, for me, for fantasy this year, I think he's going to be top
So
5.
they're at 2 losses. Going into play, maybe Justin Fields, maybe Russell Wilson. Who the fuck knows?
Maybe
W.
both.
Maybe both. Maybe Justin's returning.
Pull
kicks.
him. No, W.
Yeah,
but
I think
that's
the
all.
Colts beat the Steelers.
That's also at home. I think the Colts will beat the Steelers. So
we have
2-2.
Okay, wait. Did we give him the Bears?
Or no,
win?
sorry, yeah. One.
We'll
One.
just
There's
do one for now.
There's one.
I let Josh talk me into the Bears.
So they're out.
Crazy.
They got one.
Crazy.
At Jacksonville, I think this is the one we gave to Jacksonville. So they're at one.
Yep.
At Tennessee, got them. We got 2.
Yep.
Week 7 Dolphins. This is kind of where they start to crumble a little bit.
I think the Dolphins could lose this game. I don't think the Colts could win this game. Does that make sense?
You get they slow the Dolphins down and you get a boring 17-14.
No, I think
Colts victory.
Tua throws 2 picks and they have a fumble and lose the football game.
Tua one TUD, 2 turnovers and a fumble for
I
190.
see what you guys are saying, and I can watch it happening and ruining the fucking perfect parlay. But I'm not letting you give this game to the
No,
Colts.
I want to give it to him, but it would be such a Miami thing to lose this fucking
This
game.
is early October or no? Oh shit! It's October.
Mid-October.
Dolphins are fucked, dude.
Yeah.
After 10-15, the Dolphins just
Okay, so
down. I don't know what
I'm giving
is.
it to Indiana.
Let's give them a loss to Miami.
No, we're not giving them a win.
We'll give them a loss to Miami. At Houston's another loss.
Beat Minnesota.
At Minnesota they win.
Lose to Buffalo.
Yep.
Yeah. Lose to the Jets.
Lose
Lose
to
to
the
the
Jets.
Lions. Beat
W.
New England.
Beat Denver.
Beat
the
Denver.
Broncos.
Beat
Beat the Titans. Beat the Giants,
Beat the
I think.
Giants. Give
I
them
think
this one against the
I
Jags.
give them this one, yeah.
I agree.
8.
Yep.
8 and the number's 8.5.
8 and 9. Wait, yeah, 8 and 9.
And that's being real generous.
That has been generous.
It felt like we were being pretty
That's where the
generous.
loss. Yeah, that's where the loss to the Bears.
I'm going under here for sure. But I'm still fucking baffled at the fact that on October 20th, I'm throwing my fucking TV out the window when the Dolphins lose me a parlay to the Colts.
Dude, it's so funny because we can all fucking see it
no.
too.
Tyreek Hill pulls his hamstring in the first quarter.
Fucking
See, you guys, I'm going over for the Colts. I don't think they're going to win the division.
Anthony Richardson cock this year.
I am. I'm excited. I got him in my fantasy team this year. I think they're going to be a good solid squad.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the under 8.5. Anthony Richardson under 6.5 games.
I like that. Where's that prop at? Human prop. Pulls a hammy or some shit, man.
Over under half a torn ACL. Hammer the over.
It's mirrored on your screen. It says leave Miami alone on 10-20. It's gonna live on my mind. This is the lab. It's where I make all my bets. It's going to live here until October 20th. I'm not fucking doing it.
That shit's so funny.
I'm not doing it.
So let's go to the Titans.
Yeah,
as much as I don't want
out,
to talk
man.
about them,
We'll do the
I'm already
same
going to say
thing.
it under. I'm already calling it out. They're getting their 6 losses right away.
Losing to the Bears week 1. They're Caleb's first official victim.
That's
losing
7 losses.
Losing to Green Bay.
Lose to the Packers.
Lose to New York. Lose to the Packers. Lose to Miami. You get a bye week.
Well, wait a minute. Are we sure they're gonna lose to Miami?
Yes.
I'm having flashbacks. Was that Thursday Night Football last year? They were huge favorites. Miami. This is when they started choking the AFC East away. Didn't they lose like a 28-27?
Hear me out. They're
the Titans,
0-4.
right?
They are 0-4. Coming off a bye, they surprise the fucking Colts. They get one.
Did we give the Colts a loss there?
I don't know.
remember.
Doesn't
I don't
matter.
know.
I don't think we gave them a loss.
but we gave the Colts the under anyway, so we can give them another loss. And
I don't think the
doesn't
Titans
matter.
win a division game.
I think they get one. I do think they get one
I
somewhere.
think they
Maybe
get one.
against Jacksonville.
Lose
I think they
at
get that
Buffalo,
week 18.
lose at Detroit, win
Yeah.
at New England.
I'll give him that one.
Give them one. one.
Give me the under.
Oh yeah, the
Yes.
under's a lock.
Under's a lock.
At Los Angeles.
Tyler, write that down.
The
Time
fact
out.
they're
Isn't-
not
11-3 under.
And timeout. Isn't who the fuck did they draft? The
Mac.
Patriots.
not Mac.
Drake.
Drake May.
May.
Yeah,
But
Bill
he has no one to
Belichick.
throw the ball to.
Bill
They've got-
Belichick
Didn't
is
they
going to
sign
be.
Jacoby Brissett?
Bill Belichick's not
Maybe.
the coach or the
I
GM
know he's
anymore.
not, but Bill Belichick is going to be on the sideline, absolutely fucking throwing his clipboard at home, just pacing at home, watching this game against the Titans, going,
Well,
"What the fuck?"
It's coming out now that the Giants offered them the 6th pick and a first next year for that pick. Your team is awful. It was decimated. Why did you not take that offer? Like, you just need picks.
Yeah, okay. What's their win total?
6.5.
6.5. And they're at 1 right now. And then they're going into Los Angeles, which is another loss. I think JJ McCarthy gets them too. I do. I really do.
Ooh.
At
That's a tough
Houston
one.
is not going to be a win. At Washington, I'll give that one to him.
So two or three wins then.
We're at 2. We're at 2.
I'm
and
at
then,
3.
worst team in
I think
football.
they beat Minnesota.
and then
I think they
versus
beat Minnesota.
Jacksonville, not going to win that one. Home against the Bengals, not going to win that
Loss.
one. At Indy, at Jacksonville, hosting
to-
Houston to
We have
finish.
to give them one more win. as
I
a
think
division.
I think they win 4. I think they
I'm at
sneak out
4.
1. We're not
I'm at
giving them
4.
and 1 in the division.
I'm at 4.
I think they're a 4-win team. They are going to be a top 4 pick.
Yeah, I think
Still-
it's
Yeah.
I think it's the
I've-
Pats. I think it's the Vikings. I think they beat the Texans week 18. And then who's the other one we mentioned?
The Texans
Commies. I think they beat
could
the
play
Commies.
literally nobody in that game because they
Yeah,
could
right,
already.
exactly. I don't
they-
think that game's going to matter. I think the Titans win.
Guys, as a Bears fan, we've had fucking horrible years. Looking at this Titans team, why would you even wake up on Sunday?
Well, they got
and
the
watch this
milkman.
team.
They got the milkman Will Levis.
His
Maybe he's
girlfriend's
good.
gonna leave him by week 4.
You guys, this team has 4 games where the average ticket price is over $100. Can you guess the 4?
The 4 best teams they play all year.
Who are
the 4?
Okay,
Green
so
Bay.
What,
Green
I'm
Bay.
not looking at the schedule. I lost it.
So
Green Bay.
the four are, and the highest, by the way, week 1 against the Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams' debut
That's
game.
Yep, that
Caleb,
makes sense.
That's why.
That's at Chicago. So,
Yeah, that is at Chicago.
what about home games? They've
Home
been
game
over
Green
$100.
Green Bay,
Yep.
$198.
Yep.
Makes sense.
At Buffalo, 110, and at Detroit, 204.
That
You
makes
can
sense.
get-
They have one home game where their ticket price is over.
You can
Why
get-
is this team so bad?
They don't
Like-
have anybody. They fired their coach, and he was a good coach.
fired their good coach. They
They-
had
They
AJ
had
They
Brown.
had an aging running back
Brown.
and sent him to
Hear
Baltimore.
me out,
Like,
though. Hear me out, though. They do have people, just they're not. There's no way they cohesively come together. Tyler Boyd was good, not a good number 1, but they got D-Hop. He's old as fuck, not your number 1.
And
Calvin
honestly, I
Ridley.
think
Yeah, Calvin
isn't
Ridley.
D-Hop like awful in the locker room?
probably, yeah.
But
He
they
gives
got
that vibe.
they got Tyler Boyd, DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley. They have the best number 2 and 3 receivers.
Hey,
playing for
don't
them.
forget Traylon Burks.
They got Tony Pollard, J.C. Latham at tackle. They
Traylon
signed
Burks.
L'Jarius Sneed.
Their
as a corner.
left side of their offensive line is fucking stout. Between Latham
Peter's-
and the kid out of Northwestern last year,
Peter Skronsky,
Gronsky.
Scrons.
That
IJ
left side's fucking
Spears.
killer.
Chidobe Awuzie, Chigoziem
Bless you.
Okonkwo.
Bless you.
Wait, they got Tavondre Sweat out of Texas?
What?
What?
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I
he's
still think they're
freaked out.
trash.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the team
Yeah,
is bad.
because I bet on Devondre Sweat to be a top 10 pick, and it just was all offense.
Why is this team going to be so bad? They're going to be.
Because bad teams fire great coaches for no reason.
That's fair.
But they shouldn't be, but they're going to be bad.
Hey there, sports fans. Are you tired of the same old boring shirts? Well, we've got something exciting for you. Introducing the Tavern Sports Pocket Tee, where style meets passion for the game. Whether you're a diehard fan or just like the environment, Tavern Sports has got you covered, literally. The best part, because you're listening to Show Me the Money, you can use the code $$ to get 15% off today. So what are you waiting for? Head over to tavern-sports.square.site right now and elevate your game day experience. Tavern Sports. Beer, betting, sports.
Anyway, Tyler's mind is completely fucking broken. We've been going on for fucking ever, so let's get some locks into these people's hands so we can get the fuck out of here. Did Cole give us one before he left without saying goodbye?
He did not. So I guess I will start us off.
All right, yeah, Clark, lock of the week time, brother.
Break. Going back to what I was talking about earlier, I did say I had a golf pick for you guys, and I didn't want to talk about it till the end. But I want to take Tommy Fleetwood, top 20 finish, and some stats to back it up, just so you guys will tail me and be 5-1. He has finished top 20, I'm pretty sure, the past 4 events. Okay, other than the Canadian Open 4 events ago, he was tied 21st. Then he was tied 20th, tied 16th, and then he was 15th. So I think he's going to be top 20, and that would be plus 105.
All right, John, you're 1-0. Let's get to 2-0. What do you got, pal?
Yeah, so I actually gave my pick away in my UFC breakdown. I like Rose Namajunas by decision at plus 115. Tracy Cortez has never been finished in the UFC. She has never gotten a finish in the UFC. All of her fights have gone to decision. Rose Namajunas' last 4 have been a decision. Rose Namajunas by decision plus 115, my lock of the week.
Tyler?
Dude, I'm still in a fucking brain fuck.
Okay, so I'll give mine. Mine's gonna be
I'm
lock of the week,
literally
don't bet on
blown away.
Miami.
yeah. Fade Miami week 11, 20, whatever week that is.
Lock
Mine's
it
gonna
every
be
week.
Ludwig, top 20 with ties, minus 140, but this is a Green Book special. Blue Book is just outside of our parameters. Green Book is good, so I get it.
Roger that.
Am I able to place a future here till July
No.
28th?
No, it's got to be this week.
No, it's gotta be this
You
week.
sure?
Women's 3v3 basketball plus 125. Just saying.
It's gotta be this week.
All
I
right,
like it. But
just putting
You can lock that one in
Bank
2
it.
weeks.
bank it.
putting that number out there.
Give yourself a little note.
Putting that number out there.
That's
All
not
right.
a degenerate pick at all.
Hey, how about you shut
That's
the fuck up?
Olympics.
I can't
You don't
wait
wanna
for
know
the
how much
Olympics.
the game
I
I'm gonna
can't
do on the
wait
Olympics.
for the
I
Olympics.
one time bet at 3 a.m. on an American rifle shooting on skis to beat a
Cross country
fucking
skiing.
Cross country skiing.
Yeah, put some fucking
With the-
respect
with-
on it.
well, with the gun.
Yeah, it's
I
cross
bet
country
on
Yeah,
it.
it's cross country skiing.
And the American lost, and part of me died. My wallet died. Part of
Probably
me
a
died.
Scandinavian one, huh? One of the Nords.
I don't know who won, but it really fucking pissed me off because it wasn't an American. All right, we're about ready for my pick already. So how about we just fucking get there, huh?
Yeah, how about you stop stalling?
Dude, the brain blast that the Tennessee Titans did to me is just horrible.
They're gonna be so bad.
Give me Xander Schauffele top 10 plus 110.
A lot of golf.
We've given you the picks. It's time for you to never turn on your TV and watch a Tennessee Titans game and to show me the money.
Show me the